What is up, guys? Today doing a bunch of work on the Corrado. First off, replacing the sending unit to hopefully get the gas gauge to work. I'm going to be showing you guys some problems with my shifter and also going to show you guys a little bit of my trunk setup because I don't think I've ever done that. Guys, beautiful evening here in Pennsylvania. The Corrado is looking good, but man, it's time to get this thing back out and terrorizing the streets again. Just it's not that fun just to look at it. So if you guys saw my last video, I mentioned at the beginning of it just a little bit of the headache that went behind the last 2 weeks here, and it was frustrating. Stayed up till past midnight and still the car didn't even make it to the tri-state Corrado cruise and ended up getting up early to take the GLI. So hopefully you guys saw that video. Still was able to have fun cruising with the tri-state Corrado guys and got some cool Corrado shots, which, hey, that was still cool. If you guys saw my Instagram, which hopefully you guys follow me there, I mentioned on my story that Friday night about some of the headaches. So yeah, I was really frustrated. I started on Wednesday night. I was doing a bunch of stuff, like taking care and videoing everything to show you guys, and ended up everything I did went wrong. So first off, I started out, my shift linkage has been super loose. Like all of a sudden went from like not good to like horrible. And here I pulled my exhaust down, dropped the shields down, and actually the two rear bolts for the actual shift box had totally fallen out and were just sitting on top of the shields. They just fell down there. So I stuck those back in there, and I picked up some of this blue Loctite here, which I don't know, we're gonna find out if this stuff is good. I don't know, maybe I was just under a rock all this time and this stuff's been out for a while, but I've never used it. I'm used to the blue Loctite in the little bottle and use that, you know, you put it on the bolt and half of it just drips off and runs everywhere. But this chapstick, it's literally like chapstick, and you just kind of rub it on there and it sticks nice. So we're gonna find out if that stuff actually works. So stuck that in there and I was all pumped to go drive that thing to Bucks County, but that did not happen. But hey, at least we're set for the next drive here. As I mentioned before, I wanted to show you guys my trunk setup because it's a little bit different than a lot of Corrados in that I have the intercooler reservoir back here. So I want to show you that, and also the battery is mounted right here. So I'm going to show you guys how all that mounts. Right now, we're going to worry about the sending unit. So the reason I'm doing the sending unit on this thing is because the gas gauge doesn't work. So this is the one that was in it. Yeah, very common what that looks like. I'm told it's slightly different. I don't know what the factory Corrado one looks like. It might be the one that doesn't have this big post in there. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I think the one I actually picked up was actually from a Mark III. So big shout out to Seb. He got me this one here from a Mark III. It's a little dirty, but hey, for 25 bucks, that is awesome. So I was kind of bummed. I picked another one up and actually went through the work, soldered new ends on and stuff, and ended up the soldering iron I borrowed from work didn't work, so I had to run and pick up another one, soldered them on, and stuck it in the tank, and then realized the housing was actually cracked. So that was part of my nightmare there. So we won't go into detail about that. We'll leave that in the past. But yeah, so super pumped. I got this one here, and this one's actually better than the other one I got. So we're gonna find out. Hopefully get the gas gauge to work here tonight. Super simple. Gonna stick this in here. These hoses aren't all that nice, and the ones that are on the car are. So I'm just gonna hack these off here, and I got these other high pressure clamps. These things are sweet. The ones I had gotten before, like I had mentioned last time, they were actually too big. So now I actually got some that are actually small enough to get tight and be mint. So yeah, I'm just gonna drop that into place here, and then I'll show you guys a little bit of a few other things I got going on here that I gotta do. Sending unit is in the car. Took me a bit just because I do not like dealing with the gas tank. I'm trying not to get dirt in there, and just there's a lot that could go wrong here. So you guys saw it, the car still has the plastic lines there, going from the pump up to the top of the sending unit there, and not real happy with that. Ideally it should have rubber in, but that's something for the future. I gotta get this thing on the road again. So really made sure that they're just curved nice in there, they're not kinking. Make sure the wires are all good. And you guys saw I used the high pressure clamps, which worked out really good. Biggest thing is I'm making sure that they have the stud there that doesn't go anywhere where it could hit the wires or anything like that. So that's just something, just trying to make it all work out real good there. I left it open here so we can check for leaks, and we're gonna find out here. Hopefully I put the right lines on, which I kind of marked it, but it's been sitting so long my Sharpie kind of wore off. So got plugged in here. We got the battery just precariously set in there just to find out if this thing's gonna start, and find out if we have a gas gauge, which is what all this headache for the last 2 weeks has been about. So hopefully we have a gas gauge here. We'll let my wife fire it up here. Gas gauge is coming up. Is it gonna go where it needs to be? Should be about 2/3 of a tank, which that's not showing 2/3. It's coming up. Alright, so I had her cycle the key for a bit there. It still took a little bit to start, but yeah, real sweet. Very obviously got the lines on there properly, so that's good. No fuel leaks back here, so that is also very good. The gas gauge came up very slow, which I've never had a working gas gauge in this car since I've owned it, so I guess that's normal. I was expecting about 1/2 to 3/4, which it was below half, but it could be just lower than I think just by looking at it the way it's curved. So we're gonna put this together, and it's getting late here, but probably sometime this weekend here I'll get it out and fill her up, and we'll find out for sure if it does work. Just putting a plug in, I don't know if I mentioned or not, but the reason that I gotta get this thing working is for the Low Show beginning of September. We're gonna have this thing inside a mall with some other Corrados, Harlequins, PVW builds. I don't know, it's gonna be wild, guys. So to get into that show, you're required to have a 1/4 of a tank or lower for safety reasons. And so my gas gauge could be anywhere, so it would suck to not get into the show just because of that. And yeah, it would be a pain to try and figure out how to get that to work. So now I was like, okay, I've been wanting to do this forever, so I have to do it now. So that's why we're doing this. So we're gonna put this back together here. I told you guys I would show you guys this trunk setup. Just want to show you guys a few things and mention a few things. So really dumb here. Okay, so very obviously we got this plywood piece on here, which they cut out, which is actually pretty sweet. They got it cut out to go around the reservoir hoses here. So if you're not familiar, we got the intercooler in the front, and I got hoses coming underneath here, and that's why it cycles back. Really, really awesome setup. Just makes things a little bit interesting to fit around there, but I actually really like how they did this. And then so the carpet obviously goes on over top, so really stupid. So the carpet fits underneath the seat there, and the reason it's still in the car is because when I pull this off, I pulled on my latch and it came off in there. So I don't know if anyone's come into this problem before. Actually, now that I look at it, it's actually broken there. So that's gonna be a pain. That's gonna be a project for another day. I'm probably not gonna be in a big hurry to do that. That looks like a pain to do that. But anyhow, sometime you guys will see that in the future. Gonna fix that because that kind of sucks. And I like to have everything working on the car. So that's a pain. Because of that, it was super hard to get the plywood out. So you guys saw I pulled the plastic off here and also the seal. I just want to show you guys. There's a little bit of corrosion and rust going on along there. So just gonna say to you guys, anyone else that has never pulled their seal off, or if it's been years, maybe pull yours off and clean that. Just a note there. I try and really keep after to keep anything from rust from building up. And yeah, that's a really easy spot. I never really thought about pulling that back, but it's building up a little bit in there. Nothing major, but yeah, definitely gonna clean that up. So I'm gonna stick this cover back on here. We'll get the plywood in properly. And then over here, I got this Taylor battery box, which that's something I actually added to the car, because when I bought the car, the battery was just chilling in the back here, which first off doesn't pass inspection here in Pennsylvania. And very obviously, you do not want your battery just swinging and sliding around your trunk. That's retarded. So I cut this part out when I got it, because here you can see how the acid ate it. It was all discolored here and actually messed up some of the metal underneath there. So really sad that someone just plopped the battery in there and it leaked pretty bad. So I cleaned it all up, that it's not affecting anything anymore, but it's kind of sad that someone didn't care enough to actually do that. So just a few notes there guys, do it right. So we're gonna stick this all back together and retire for the night, and maybe we'll finish out this video. It's been a while since I've driven this car in a video, so we'll have to go rip on it a little bit, and we'll get some gas and find out if this thing actually works. Alrighty guys, so starting putting this back together, and all of a sudden found a very major problem. So right on top here, I was tidying up on my wires. I wrapped them up nice there because I just don't like wires flopping and rubbing, and that's just not good for them, and it just looks nicer too having them wrapped up. And found this wire here. You guys can see that the coating just totally melted off. That was right in this section here, which you guys can see. I just put some new wire on there. So that's actually, I'm really glad I found that. That could have actually been my problem all along, that I wouldn't have needed a sending unit, but hey, at least I know. Hopefully it should be fixed for now, which I was gonna say, I don't know if I talked about this or not, but something to think about when your gauge doesn't work. So right here you guys can see like where like the needle slides on there, and that's where it senses your float comes up, and that's where then it senses where your tank is at. And what'll happen is, this thing looks really good, which I was really surprised how good it looks when I got it out. Generally, when they start going bad, you actually end up getting like black spots on it. And what'll happen then is, say, if it's halfway down, that like when you're the top part of your gauge, it'll work, and as it comes down, then all of a sudden they'll have a spot there where it's not accurate, which that wasn't that way. It's just totally random. Sometimes I think it would work and other times it wouldn't. So that's probably a really good indication right there that it was more a wiring problem there. So I'm really glad I found that, because what'll happen if you have a wiring problem, if it's grounding out just randomly in there, that's definitely going to screw things up, and it's going to be very random. So very glad I found that. Something also to note is that, so it's this red wire right here. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but this red wire with the yellow stripe on it comes out, and it keeps going. And I'd pull this off just to see what was going on there. And they have it soldered nicely, but they jumped that blue wire and red wire together there. So I'm not quite sure what the purpose of that is. I didn't really look it up, but hey, the car is running good, and I assume they know what they're doing when they did that. So if we have problems, we'd have to check that out. But I just wanted to mention, there's not only a blue wire there. For whatever reason, they jumped it in the red and yellow wire. So maybe if we have problems in the future, we'll know where to look with that. And if anyone knows what that is, you could put it in the comments below. And if we have problems, I have a manual that I can look up on my wiring diagrams, but as of now, I don't really think it's important. So I'm gonna wrap the rest of this up real nicely, but just wanted to show you guys that. I don't know if that's common there, but it was right up here where it goes through that little divot there, which this piece of foam goes across there. So make sure you keep all that nice, and that's just something. This wire was not wrapped up nicely with the other ones. That's where, hopefully if I put them together here, it can't rub and cause more problems at that spot right there. So just something to note when you guys are doing stuff. Alrighty guys, got this all cleaned up a little bit. It was super dirty under there, so didn't want that. Right here, got power that comes right off the battery, so that goes up underneath the board here and comes out around the side. I'll show you how that works. I think there's actually a hole cut in right there. You got the grounds in the middle there, and this power comes over here to this relay, and it all goes up there. I don't love how loose some of this is. At least they have it zip tied and stuff. It's not awesome, but hey, whatever. I didn't do all this, so I don't know what this is all for, but I assume this goes to underneath the back seat. I should show you guys sometimes. There's some amps under there, and this actually has a pretty good sound system in. So just want to show you that. And then this is for the battery box here. Got these two holes in here, and this goes up through here, which is part of what makes just getting underneath here such a big job. So I'll show you how all that lays out here then. Got all this cleaned up a little bit, and yeah, the corrosion came out of there pretty nice there. Get this focused for you guys. Corrosion came out pretty nice, but I put a little bit of PFC on there so it can't corrode or anything any worse. So got this all in here. You guys can see how this looks. So I put this Taylor battery box in like 2 years ago, and yeah, that's really nice setup for like, I don't know, a little over $100 or something like that. It's really a pain because Yeah, on top got wing nuts on top, and then these nuts, and then down on the bottom and the inside of the box, and then also on the very bottom of the plywood. So it's kind of a pain just to take that in and out, but yeah, I really like the way that gets set up. Then it's super clean with that on top of there. So yeah, there you see it. I think you guys have seen my my speaker tray. Excuse this mess here. That's sitting right here. Got some bigger speakers stuck in there, and also this piece I gotta put that back in. I broke one of the tabs on it, so I need to glue that before I put it in. That stuff is like paper. So yeah, really excited. We're gonna go find out if this gas gauge is actually gonna work. So yeah, the other night when we checked it, it said a little bit under half a tank. So we're gonna go out, rip on it a bit, get you guys some straight pipe VRT sounds, and go fill it up and see if the gas gauge actually goes up to full. So yeah, excited to try this out. Good to be back behind the wheel. Got the gas gauge staying very consistently just below half, so that's a very good sign. Shifter feels really nice and tight now. It's still not like fantastic, but it's really nice actually having it tight again. I think it must have been at least a little bit loose for a while. I think the bolt sealing just fell out, so that's real cool. We'll go up here and get some gas, and then after we get some gas, we'll go rip on it real good. Alrighty guys, the true test. Is the gauge gonna go up? Check it out. Oh yeah, dude. Woo! Alrighty guys, it's just so shy of full, so good sign. Ooh. Woof. Figure out how to put my seatbelt on. Guys aren't used to this kind of stuff in a Corrado. Love how well balanced these cars are. You sit so low down and just, I don't know, it just feels so good. Got Conies on it, so it's super tight. Oh, that is just really fun. So the Corrado is back in the shed here for some more storage. Wish I could drive it more. I put about 10 miles on it today, and thankfully the gauge actually stayed right up there at full, didn't waver at all. So I'm guessing a lot of that problem is actually just the wire, so glad that that is fixed. But yeah, definitely exciting to actually drive that thing again. It's just an absolute blast there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some driving, some VRT sounds. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys appreciate the Corrado content. You guys are always asking for it. So for the next week, this is actually my project here. I'll just quick show you you guys don't realize I do actually detailing for fun, and I get into more like I like doing big projects. I don't like doing just little jobs, so that's going to be a very extensive detail job. That's going to take me quite a while, so that'll probably keep me busy for the next week. And then this thing's going to get back out again for the low show. I mentioned that I'm going to that, so now I got a working gas gauge, can actually go to that, and we're going to put a bunch of time into there. It really needs to see some love again. It's not bad, but just, yeah, we're going to get that thing looking real good. So I'm going to show you, I actually put a few other new parts on the car. One of them, we got new tires, which really love, like it totally transformed the car, but now I'm rubbing in the rear. So we're going to mess with the shims a little bit, get that right, needs service, and just we're going to go over some things. So yeah, look, you guys can look forward to that for some more Corrado content coming in a few weeks. So yeah, excited to bring all of that. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and catch us again next time for some more Volkswagen fun. Peace.